In 1824, the young Anton Bruckner was born in Ansfelden, in the suburb of Linz, into a world that thought but little of the mind and treated intellectuals with condescension. Bruckner's father saw his son's gift, and soon, in 1833, he was off to Hersching, where he refined his skill as a young organist. Then, in the autumn of 1836, the 12-year-old Bruckner returned to Ansfelden to take care of his dying father. St Florian is to be Bruckner's next destination. He spent a few secluded and musical years here as a choir boy. For reasons unknown though, Bruckner was still pursuing a career as a teacher. It would take a few more years for him to finally decide to walk the musical path. He then spent a short, miserable period in Vienna. There, he was constantly humiliated by his superior, which could be the reason why he always thought so little of himself. His quality of life improved when he moved to Kornsdorf, where he would be surrounded by beautiful organs and spent time practicing Bach day in, day out. He returned to St Florian in 1845 and remained there for the next 10 years as an organist. By 1855, although Bruckner has passed the highest examination and became a fully qualified senior school teacher, he was strangely dissatisfied, but his spark was soon to be ignited by this Bishop of Linz. Bruckner, as we know him today, was coming into shape. In July 1855, Bruckner came to Vienna to call on Simon Sechter and show him his Missa Solemnis, which clearly impressed the master, and Bruckner was accepted as his student. He then spent 6 years diligently studying musical theory with Sechter, and immediately after finishing his studies, he took a final examination at the Vienna Conservatory and passed with distinction. The examiner invited him to improvise at the Piaristenkirche in Vienna, and the performance was met with high praises from those examiners. He should have examiners. If I knew 1/10 of what he knows, I'd be happy. Those were the words the examiner said about Bruckner. At the Hotel Keiserin Elisabeth, which is right in the center of Vienna, you can find a plaque stating that Bruckner stayed there in 1863. He was one of the many other famous composers and cultural figures of his time who stayed in this hotel. In 1867, Sechter, who was Bruckner's teacher, died, and the post of the teacher of music theory at the Vienna Conservatory opened up.
So in 1868, Bruckner moved to Vienna and he accepted a post as a music theory teacher at the Vienna Conservatory, and he lived here somewhere on this street. So I'm trying to find where it is. Oh no, I think it's under construction, but I'll try to find that plaque that commemorates that Bruckner lived here and show you guys. Can you guys see that plaque above me? Yeah, that basically says that Bruckner lived here for 8 years and he composed his 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th symphony here. Oh, that was a bit disappointing, but no worries. We're going to a more important house of his, just nearby Währingerstraße. I don't know if you can see, but there it is. Yeah, and in this house, he composed most of his important works.
So yes, Bruckner lived here from 1877 to 1895 on the 4th floor, and he was looked after by his faithful housekeeper. This was a period where he composed most of his important works, the symphonies number 4 through to 9, and his infamous Te Deum. Well, we know that Bruckner both studied and taught at the conservatory here, and in 1872, the hall obtained a new organ, and Bruckner performed here on the day of the presentation of the organ.
So now I'm at the Musikverein, or the Vienna Music Society, and we know that Bruckner conducted his premiere of the 3rd symphony here. And the story is that the conductor that was supposed to conduct the premiere, he died, and so Bruckner had to step in. And as great a composer as he was, his conducting skill may not be that great. So people started to leave, and towards the end, there were only a few people that remained, and one of those was Gustav Mahler himself.
Bruckner was a regular organist here at the Augustinerkirche, and in fact, his Mass No. 3 in F minor was written for this church and was premiered here.
The first time I came to Vienna with my friend, one of the first tasks that we set on was to find Johann Strauss' monument at the back. But that's not our focus today. Today we're finding Bruckner's monument. Anton Bruckner, the great organist from a little town in Upper Austria, who came into Vienna, wasn't happy with this life, and yeah, it's not for everyone, I would have been more satisfied as an organist in a little town, composing my symphony as well. But
in the months approaching Bruckner's death, the emperor offered him free lodging at the palace of Belvedere there, which now houses an art museum. Bruckner moved to this little abode surrounded by magnificent garden in July 1895, giving up his old flat at the Hessegasse No. 7, where we just went. In the 2 years that he lived here, Bruckner worked on the finale of his Symphony No. 9, and he died here in the afternoon of October 11, 1896, after a walk in the park, having worked on the finale of his Symphony No. 9 in the morning hours. Three days after his death, Bruckner's coffin was taken to this church, and the funeral was held here, and people sang Te Deum in his memory. Before he moved to Vienna, Bruckner was an organist in this church in Linz for quite some time.
hi guys, I'm in Linz in Upper Austria right now, and look how beautiful and sunny it is. I've been walking around in the sun, enjoying it all day, and yeah, behind me is the River Danube, and on the other side is actually Brucknerhaus, which, you guessed it, is named after the composer Anton Bruckner. So this is his hometown, so he's kind of a big deal, and actually the biggest concert hall in there is also named after him, Bruckner Saal. And also between the month of September until October, there is a Bruckner Fest or Bruckner Festival that goes on here in this concert hall as well. So tomorrow I will take about 1 hour trip to the outskirts of Linz to St Florian Monastery to see this beautiful Bruckner organ, and it's also where Bruckner is buried, and that's the ultimate pilgrimage in the footsteps of Anton Bruckner. So I will see you tomorrow. Okay, so I'm here, and I'm really excited to see the Bruckner organ, and there is a really beautiful library here as well.
Ca. 1450 den Buchdruck erfunden, den Druck mit beweglichen Lettern, und diese Erstdrucke in einem Zeitraum von ca. 50 Jahren nach der Methode Gutenberg.
According to Bruckner's wish, his remains were transferred from Karlskirche in Vienna to be buried here in St Florian in Linz, his hometown, directly below his favorite organ. Bruckner found his musical inspiration here, and he's now resting forever in peace, where he is most happy. So I was just in this Bruckner organ concert, and on the program there is this magnificent piece by Richard Wagner, the Prelude to Tannhäuser, the opera. And if you think about how much Bruckner revered Wagner, and the fact that he's buried right underneath that organ, and in fact in the crypt you can actually hear the organ playing, that means that Bruckner will be able to hear that piece by his favorite composer, and I think that would make him really, really happy. So that's something, and that was a really special experience for me because that was one of my most favorite Wagner pieces ever. I actually found a little gem of a garden just off the street from St Florian Monastery. You can sit here and read or listen to Bruckner's music on your headphones. I think it's the perfect place to wind down after a full day in Bruckner's steps.